Welcome back. I have a bit of a different video for you this time. I've been suffering from trigger finger for the last several years. So I got to the point where my ring finger was completely locking up. So what is trigger finger? It's when you close your hand as a fist and when you open it up, your finger gets stuck and I literally had to take my other hand to click open my hand because it would get stuck in this tendon which runs inside of a sheath, and that either has some inflammation or some damage to the tendon, so it gets stuck and it's actually quite painful. So I was having that in my left hand on my pinky and ring fingers. So I finally had the surgery. And I wanted to give you an update because looking on YouTube, there aren't very many recovery videos for trigger finger surgery. So I wanted to give some information to anyone else that's suffering from that and what you might expect if you're going to have that surgery. So the day of the surgery, you could choose if you wanted to be awake or asleep. I chose to be awake. So I went to the doctor's office. When I went back, they numbed my pinky and ring fingers. After about 30 minutes, they took me back to the procedure room. In the procedure room, they sat me down in a recliner, put my hand on the table, and then thoroughly washed my hand. And then they made two incisions, one above the pinky and one above the ring finger. And they made the incisions in this distal palmar crease here to minimize the scar afterwards. Once they made the incisions, they dissected down to the tendon and then used scissors to cut the sheath on each of the pinky and ring fingers. The whole procedure took about 10 minutes and I did not feel, really anything that was there. I did watch what the surgeon was doing. There really wasn't very much blood at all, because the numbing agent they give you also has another agent that helps stop any bleeding. So when I got home after the surgery, my hand was pretty swollen. Ring and pinky fingers were kind of purplish, but were still numb. Eventually my index and middle fingers also became numb. But after about 5 hours, it started to wear off. And it kind of wore off unevenly, the numbness, so it did kind of hurt in different places. But I went to bed that night. When I woke up, the numbness was all gone, but my hand did hurt quite a bit. I can move my fingers, but trying to make a tight fist, I do feel that in the incision now, but it was much worse the first 3 days. But the worst problem I had, the pain was pretty tolerable, but the worst thing was swelling. So I had to keep my hand propped up on pillows above my heart. If I would get up and walk around, I would start to swell up again. So that was really the biggest issue of what was there. I definitely can feel that my hand isn't as strong as it used to be. So I'm probably going to have some work to get that strength back into it. I do feel that incision, but definitely my fingers are not triggering anymore. So it is nice to be able to move my fingers freely now. So if you're thinking of having that surgery, I would definitely give it a strong consideration, and I'm glad that I had that done. But since I've only been able to really use one hand for the last several days, I've been thinking about one-handed tool usage, and a lot of the tools I have are not one-handed usage. But the one tool that I did get recently was the O-Knife OKS2, and surprisingly, this does work quite well as a single-handed tool, as I can open the blade without issue. It does have a little lever on the side, so it'll open up the other tools. You can pick the tool that you want. They do lock in place, and so there is a release. It has a saw, which might be the hardest tool to open up one-handed, but it is also locking. But it can definitely be operated with one hand. But let me know what your best one-handed tool is in the comments below. Please like and subscribe to the video. I'm getting really close to 1,000 subscribers, so it'd be great to go across that. I really do appreciate all of your support. If you're interested in the O-Knife OKS2, I'll leave a link in the description if you'd like to read more about it. And then if you'd like to see my review of the O-Tackle K1 and the Victorinox Swiss Army Knife Classic, please click here.